Do you love making cards with your Cricut, but you would really like more choices when it comes to the card kits? That's what I'm going to show you how to do today. We are going to make our very own card kits from scratch and with our own papers. So let's be clear, the Cricut card kits are great, especially from a convenience standpoint. You have the envelopes, you have the card, you have the inserts. It's just that I'm a pattern girl and I like a few more choices to help make my cards pop. So if you're new here, you're Crafting with Kim Byers, and this is episode 4 of my card making series. And so today, not only am I going to teach you how to make card kits, but I'm also going to give you all the dimensions for all the different card kits. We're going to talk about paper, and finally, we are going to talk about the tools that you'll need to do this, which, by the way, there's only a couple of things, but you're going to want to see this if you want this to be easy. Okay, so let's make some card kits. Okay, so here we are on the craft table, and I thought I would start out by showing you some of the cards that I've made in the past, so showing you some of the potential. So we can start with these. Now, we made this one together in episode 3, and so this is a standard card with a standard insert, very cute, but then you could elevate that with a solid color still, but this is an insert that I created, and this has like a raised polka dot effect. It's so cute. I love how that one turned out. And then this is just a solid, but like a shimmery fun. And then we could move on to glitter. So Cricut card kits come with glitter inserts, not this one. I cut this one, but what about making the entire card glitter? This is one of my favorites, and I kind of made this card up, but I think I can link you guys to it in the description down below, so I will pop that in. But see how beautiful that turned out? And I used Cricut paper, which doesn't flake. I love the Cricut glitter paper. And then patterns. I am a girl of patterns, and so I've made this card. See how sweet the little truck is? And then this card, ho ho ho. And then I did this one. I have a thing for polka dots. I really have a thing for polka dots. And then I made this one. Isn't this sweet? And see how it elevates what the cards look like. So when it comes to papers, important notes, 2 things. When you're making cards, so when you're making the card itself, not just the insert, but the card itself, you want to make sure that your paper is not a white core paper. And cardstock is going to tell you that whenever you're looking at it or buying it in the store. You can always check the edges as well. And if it's white along the edges, then when you cut it, it's also going to be white on the interior. And you don't want that, because when you do a bone fold or when you do the folding edge, it could, the paper will split a little bit and then the white would show through. So tip number 1, make sure that you use a solid core paper, which just means it's the same color all the way through. And then the next thing is, when you can, try to use double-sided paper. So this is a very simple example. So you could get paper that's polka dot on one side and then it's just craft on the other. So it's not white on the other side. So if you look at these, so like this is a double-sided paper. So this is actually a Cricut paper that they did for Frozen. So the cute little trees on one side and then the little Elsa and I forget the other characters on the other side. So, but then you have these types of papers, and these are very common. So it's white on one side and patterned on the other. And there's nothing wrong with that. So if you pop that into your card, so for instance, I think this is a this is a double-sided paper. So it's purple on both sides. Maybe one of these, I think this one. Okay, so see, it's white on the inside, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's cute. But when you can, get a double-sided paper. Okay, so just to recap, for your paper, you want to use a solid core for the card when you can, and it would be great to use a premium double-sided paper for your insert. So now let's talk about card kits. So the card kits, this is what we went over in the second video in detail, but I wanted to show you guys this. So on the card kits, it tells you the dimensions of each item. So it's going to show you the closed dimension of the card. So when the card is actually closed. meaning like this. So whenever you go to do the dimensions for actually cutting, of course, you want the open dimensions. So don't just go by what's on the front of the card kit. Make sure that you open it up. And so then the inserts are there as well. And then of course the card kits come with envelopes, which is so helpful. So my little tip for you is, if you can, get the actual card kit and use it as a template. But if you don't want to do that, I'm going to give you all of the dimensions for the cards, and I'm going to put them in a handy little print-off sheet down below. And so I would just ask that you would come over and join thousands of others on my email list. Just every week, I send you guys a list of free cuts and some other things that might be going on, and share with you videos and fun things that are happening around for crafting. Okay, so let's go ahead and move these out of the way, and let me show you the tools that you're going to need. Okay, so to make card kits, there's two very important things you're going to need. You are going to need a bone folder. Very simple. Now guys, if you don't want to purchase one of these, you can hack it out with a butter knife, but this is only a few dollars on Amazon, and I would personally invest in one. And then this is my paper trimmer, and I have to say, I've had other brands before, but I really do enjoy my Cricut. My favorite little thing about my Cricut is this. So I have this extendable arm, and so I'm able to measure up to 16 inches of paper with this cutie. Okay, and so this, I use this, if you watch me in my other videos, I use this for iron-on and vinyl and all the things, but today we're using it for paper. So what I want to do is I want to look at the dimensions of my kit, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5 for a folded card. And so this is one of the actual cards. And so if I put that onto my trimmer, I'm going to be able to see that it's 8.5 inches, which is just double, right? 4 1/4. And so then we're going to be able to turn it this way, and we can see that it is 5.5 inches. So I think we'll work with these today. And if you take a sheet of 12 by 12, you're going to be able to get 2 cards out of that. And if you get them on deal when you're at the craft store, a lot of times you can get them for 50 cents a sheet. So if you do the math, depending on if the card kits are on sale, you may not be saving a ton of money on making your own card kits, but you are getting the patterns that you're hoping to get. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the green. And so I want this to get, again, to be, what did we say? 8.5. And so if you're not sure and you don't want to waste your paper and you just want an extra set of, you know, did I do this right? Put your card kit card as your template. And if you look here, you just put it right on the line. And so you know that you are getting the perfect cut. Okay, so now we put this to the side. And so now we know that we need this to be, there we go, 5.5. Okay, so we'll just move that over. And we can see this again through. I love this because you can just see it right, it's so easy. Okay, and so now we have a perfect card. And then this, you can actually cut out a second one. So you can get 2 cards per sheet. And so the next thing that we need to do is we need to score our card. Now we're just scoring right at the center mark, right? But if you have your template card, you're actually going to be able to pop it in, making sure everything is lined up. And so what we're going to do, this is the other reason I love this. So what we're going to do though is I'm just going to hold down the green, going to take out my blue, going to close this, hold it here with both fingers, take your bone folder, okay, and we're going to just insert it into this. It's almost as if it was made for it. So we're just going to be able to just go gently along that edge, very gently. Because you don't want to poke all the way through, right? We just want to score that paper. So now we take it out. Beautiful, perfect, straight score. Can I tell you that in the old days, I would try to score things with this and I would get it off, you know, I'd get it all jagged and it would be really, really bad. But this score is perfect. And so now we're literally going to be able to fold our little card. So easy, right? And so now we can take our sample card and this card, we put them on top of each other. Perfection. Now we just used this sample kit for today's tutorial, but this holds true for all the different sizes. So this is perfect card. Okay, so now let's talk about our inserts. Our sample, this is from our card kit. So if we lay it on here, we see that it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So we're just gonna take our sheet and we wanna get 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, and so one little tip for you when you're using paper and paper trimmers. So by the way, this is our little insert and it fits perfectly. It's going to be so adorable. So with these, just make sure paper sometimes can get stuck in this bottom piece here. Make sure that you check that regularly, and also check your blade and just make sure that paper doesn't get stuck around it. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, it can rip your paper, and there's nothing more frustrating when you have an idea for a card and it doesn't work out. Okay, so my little trees are super cute, but I love this pattern for putting on the wreath. Tons of color. So when you only have small areas, here's a tip for you, a pro tip. Make sure that you use something with a ton of color. This pattern is adorable, and if you were doing something a larger cut, you would be able to see it just fine, and this would be great. But this color so much in a small area is going to be beautiful on this card, especially whenever you get the corners in. And by the way, if you were one of the people who popped over into the poll on my community tab and let me know that you wanted to make card kits today, I appreciate you. And so now I would love for you to pop down in the comments and let me know, are we making foil cards next? Are we doing cutaway cards? Are we doing photo cards? What do you guys want to see next in the card making series? So I hope you guys learned a ton today. I hope that you'll be making your own card kits. I would love for you to let me know in the comments if you have any questions whatsoever. And I'll put some other videos up here on card making if you guys want to check those out. I will see you in the next one.